The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I'm Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host, and you can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, and then on Talk 99.5 and News Radio 1440 down in Montgomery and Birmingham. And you can get that from 10 until 11, and then hear it again on WVNN at 10 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. I'm a very busy guy. With me, as always, Mecca Musick. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, smart enough to not say, hey, let's rebuild Gaza. So we'll see where all of that goes in this conversation. Clay Schofield will be with us. He is the Executive Vice President of the BCA, the Business Council of Alabama. We'll talk with him about a couple of things, including their legislative priorities moving forward.
Former state senator.
Yeah, I know that part too. He was also a state senator as well. We were going to get to that later, but Mecca had to throw that in there. Right now, if it's okay with Mecca, we're going to go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning.
Sure, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. All right, so we had the state of the state. And I've been told that the state of the state is strong. Do governors ever stand up and say that the state of the state is a disaster? I can't believe I've done this to the state. It's just a disaster. But Governor Kay Ivey said the state of the state is strong, and she laid out her legislative priorities, and I think that you're going to have a pretty good chance of getting most of them through. She, of course, wants to do immigration reform. She talked about that. She talked about backing the blue. She came up with things like, I don't know, banning cell phones in schools, which I happen to like. During this speech, Mecca, and I don't think this is one of the more important things, but I thought it was one of the more interesting moments, one of the things that's been kind of trickling around in the political circles is that Kay Ivey is old. Big surprise. A real shocker here. But the idea was that she was like on her last legs and she was going to resign. This has been the talk since she took over the governorship after Governor Robert Bentley couldn't keep it in his pants. She has had this exact thing follow around, and she addressed it directly during the state of the state. Why?
Obviously, because like you said, this has been an issue that she has to combat, and I think she did a fantastic job. She came out strong. She came out energetic. I mean, really, and this is the job of the state of the state, I get that, but really touting all the great things that Alabama is doing, as well as laying out a public safety plan and the safety bill package, among the other things that you said.
Yeah, she laid out a real vision for where things are going, and I think that it's pretty clear that she has the buy-in from other legislative leaders, and we've talked to some of them, and they're ready to go on this. It seems like this is almost a cohesive message here moving forward. Not a lot of talk about gambling, which I know we love talking about on this program, but it's not getting any play. You heard Garland Gudger, the Senate Pro Tem, sort of mention that he's open to it. The numbers aren't there. That didn't really come up. I mean, the last legislative session, they got things like school choice and other stuff done.
Which she did mention in the address.
And you're going to see, I think, more of those priorities addressed here as well. And there's a lot going on in the legislature, and we'll stay on top of that as we move forward. But the state, strong, she says, and so is she. So that's what she had to say. All right, moving on here. You know, you've heard about Trump derangement syndrome. What about Elon Musk derangement syndrome? I put this higher up here than maybe it should be, but I believe that this has really taken a weird turn here. And I don't really know why the Democrats in Washington, D.C. and beyond have singled out this one guy as this villain, because it appears that if you looked at what he was actually doing, going after government waste, I think people would find that to be something that's pretty popular to do. He touched the USAID office, which even members of Congress, when they were speaking about this, called it USAID, USAID, you said, you name it. They didn't even know what it was called, and they're out there making a big stink about this. But they're furious at him. What is the play here?
Well, I was going to ask you, you mean the Democrats specifically?
Like targeting him. Why him? I mean, they've already have Trump derangement. Why don't you just continue hammering that point home?
Well, obviously, I think he's a popular figure and he makes headlines. So if you want to be heard, but more importantly, you're asking what is the Democrat play? What is their play? They don't even have the power to send a subpoena at this point. Doing that and making these headlines is really the only thing at their disposal. I mean, there's going to be court case. There's already court cases, and there's probably going to be more coming forward. But as far as Democrats, that's really all they have, isn't it?
But they're calling him a Nazi. They're saying he's stealing money. They're saying all sorts of crazy things. And you just kind of
steal your mother's social security number.
No, he's South African. Nigerians. They're the ones stealing my mom's social security number. But the point is, and this is the part that I don't really understand about this. You got to find him doing something wildly unpopular. And they're like just kind of grasping it. He's in your systems. He can turn off your Social Security. And it's like, he's not, wow. But none of that's going to happen. So it's going to look like you're crying wolf here. And even like David Axelrod and the late night comedians, they're mocking Democrats for the freak out over this.
Right. But also there is a legitimate possibility of a blowback, or somehow he loses the favor of Trump, and we know how that ends up.
Well, that's always been the scuttlebutt, but I don't think you're going to get any blowback when you find out that we're spending millions of dollars on Moroccan clay pots in order to combat transgender hate in, I don't know, Cambodia. It just doesn't make any sense to spend all that money, and every time you lay those out and the Democrats defend it, that's a knock on them. So I don't know what it is, but it is definitely out there. Let's move on. Let's talk about this U.S. aid situation, and a lot of people say I call it the wrong thing. It's USAID. Let's talk about this and what it actually does. Now, this is basically the soft power side of the federal government. We utilize our money, taxpayer resources, to go around the globe and be like, look what America's doing for you. Don't you like this museum?
Purposes.
Do you like this museum? Do you like this water you're drinking? America did that. See the logo? That's us. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It is the sphere of influence.
Yeah, absolutely true. It's absolutely true. But the problem is there seems to be a bit of corruption in this world and a bit of secrecy in this world. And this goes back to the Elon Musk thing as well. This is one of the reasons why they're super mad at him. And they're talking about shutting this thing down. And they say, well, why are you shutting it down? It's like, because it's corrupt. How's it corrupt? And then they lay out 50 things where it is. Now, in the grand scheme of things, the dollar figure may not be huge, but you don't need the dollar figure to be huge. You just need the information to be out there. And then it's like, well, why are you in favor of this? And then you make the people defend that. Why is this so opaque? Why are people so surprised by this? I didn't know this thing was as big as it is, and I didn't know the name of it. All
like
these
the
things.
$60 billion budget and things like that. It was surprising that this
it's a slush fund
that more people, or it wasn't more in the headlines. But remember, there was Senator Ernst who did try last year to get a look at the books and get more information, and she was shut down repeatedly.
They threatened to sue her.
That's what she said did happen.
Yeah. But why didn't she say something about that? Like, why wasn't she louder about that? Why did it take this situation to go? And I guess I understand the reasoning, because you have a new people in power. And the reason they tried to shut it down in the first place is because they wanted to make sure that it lined up with Trump's foreign policy. And when they started doing that, these unelected, talk about Elon Musk being unelected, these unelected bureaucrats were like, we're not doing that. And it's like, what? You can't do that. It's like me telling you to do something and you say no. You got to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
You have to. Okay. But this agency is under the microscope right now, and I think we're going to find more stuff coming out about it. All right, let's move on. I was kind of hesitant on this title, Gaza Lago. That's a good one. Las Vegas, that would have been another one that you could have gone with as well. I don't know where this came from in Donald Trump's mind. Obviously, Benjamin Netanyahu's on board with this too, so you have buy-in from Israel. It is technically their country. Not even technically, but it's their country. And they could say, okay, come in and help us develop this thing. And I think that's what it looks like. But the rest of the world is like, what is this? What are you doing here? And people don't know this, but that area they're talking about is, oddly enough, about the size of Las Vegas.
Okay.
But it is situated geographically far better, if it wasn't for all the war and chaos in the region, but with the resources it has there. So I could see why a developer like Donald Trump would look at that and be like, damn, that looks good. I could see why he would definitely say, give me some of that. Where did this come from?
So apparently the people that, I've talked to in the reports I've read is like, no one knows where this came from. It literally came from his head. And if you remember, the next day, staff were trying to talk it back a little bit. The very next day after that, Trump comes out and is like, no.
Well, then
Let's do this. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of wild. It seems like it just came out of his head, but I hadn't thought about the developer aspect, and that is actually making more sense at this point.
I just think he looks at stuff like that and says, pretty cool if we built a hotel there. I mean, not necessarily him, but anyone, and do it. The problem is...
There's quite a few problems with the plan.
There's some problems here. One, I think people have gotten to the point where they still don't understand the way he operates. What he's saying is, this is the opening gambit. And if you're Jordan and Egypt and all these other countries, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? So all of a sudden you're back on your heels. Iran's at the weakest place it's been right now, but they're going to try to build up off this. Oh, the Americans are coming with guns and things like that. You got to watch out. All this stuff just, I think, kind of kicks up the dust, and he wants to see where it settles. Look what he did to Canada. Look what he did to Mexico. Look what he did to Colombia. El Salvador and Guatemala are like, you guys got any prisoners you want us to take? I mean,
it's honestly part of the strategy.
Yeah.
It's part of the messaging, and a lot of times that will get what he wants done.
The chaos is the point.
Right.
I mean, all you had to do, droning Soleimani. You had the Iranians who were like, hey, we're not going to do anything. Russia wouldn't go into Ukraine when he was president because they don't know what they're going to get out of that. And as of this point, that's been relatively effective for him. But the problem is when you remove him from the field, then what happens? And we saw that with Biden.
Okay, so is this a real plan? Is this really going to happen?
I think it's a real plan. I don't think it's the way he's saying it. I think it's basically like, hey, well, our contractors will go in there.
And what about the international outcry? There's international laws that will be broken.
So in order to do this, you have to do ethnic cleansing. Yeah, by definition, that's what it is. By definition, if you're taking an entire group of people and you're removing them from a location and putting them other places, roughly by force, and that's exactly what it is. So
he did walk back that one though about the force, right?
Well, he said not by force, but if I say we're not going to build it, you're going to live in a pile if you don't leave. I mean, there's sort of the same thing. They can go,
perhaps.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that situation. And when we come back, we're going to have to come back to that one a little bit later. But see, that's the thing about Trump. We probably won't. It's just going to fade away into something else. All right, when we come back, Clay Schofield will be with us, former state senator, current executive vice president to the Business Council of Alabama. He'll be with us. We'll talk with him about the upcoming legislative session right here on Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. U.S. Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care. What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your CareWatch right now. Operators are standing by.
Get Fox 54 Plus everywhere you stream. Watch local newscasts live or on your schedule, plus exclusive specials like Weekend Review, a recap of the week's top stories. Fox 54 Plus, live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Musick.
And today we have the Executive Vice President of the Business Council of Alabama with us and former state senator, as I mentioned before, Clay Schofield. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you all for having me. Always good to be with you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your time at the Business Council of Alabama in this legislative session. You guys have priorities every single time that the legislature kicks off. We were talking off the air. Sometimes it's defense, sometimes it's offense. A lot's been done. Alabama's a pretty pro-friendly business environment.
Yep.
All the influx of outside capital, international, and from other states kind of proves that. Is this an offensive or defensive session for you guys?
It's a little bit of both. The third year of the quadrennium is always a kind of a weird year. You're getting ready to run for re-election next year, and so it's just it's a weird year. Typically, this really isn't any different. Usually we've come with pretty big packages like Rebuild Alabama or the game plan, which was focused on beefing up our incentives and making sure that we're still competitive. Last year was Working for Alabama, focused on enhancing our workforce development initiatives and improving our workforce participation rate. This year, there's not a big one. We want to build on those. We want to fully fund the SEEDS Act because we're doing workforce right. We're doing incentives right. The SEEDS Act is using state dollars to help secure the industrial sites spread around the state of Alabama, even in rural areas. Because if we have great incentives, if we have great workforce, and we're enticing companies to move to Alabama or to expand, we've got to have a place to put them.
That's sort of been one of the problems you guys have had to deal with. All the economic development's going to a few different areas. I mean, it's been great for Huntsville, it's been great for Mobile. Birmingham's going to get a lot because of where they are. But the rural areas, you're right. I mean, that is another part of it.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you about, Dylan and I earlier were talking about Governor Ivey's the state address. We talked about it, it was a steady ship, a steady path forward that she's kind of known for. What was your takeaway from that address?
I thought she did an incredible job. She actually, on Tuesday mornings during session, BCA hosts Tuesday morning briefings, and we invite our membership. And we always kick it off with Governor Ivey. And she did just a remarkable job. And I thought it was, she was talking about whether it be broadband or, our highways or, economic development, workforce development. She kept saying check after each one of them. And it really was a great kind of response to, I've had the governor having a very successful tenure as governor. And all the things that she has been able to achieve, especially on the economic front, is absolutely remarkable. And it has been spread throughout the state, and we want to continue that. But her legacy on the economic front really down to K-12 education, I think is really remarkable. And I think that she did a great job of reminding us that, our membership, that on Tuesday morning, and certainly the rest of the state at the State of the State.
So this is my favorite time of year, when the legislative session kicks off, and we are.
I like Christmas, but whatever.
Okay, this is a great time of year, though. Now, listen, as a former legislator, you have a unique perspective. When you are looking at the legislative packages and the bills that have been pre-filed, and kind of gauging the lay of the land, if you will, what do you foresee? Are there going to be snags? Are there going to be any hiccups in this upcoming session? I mean, gaming has not come up yet so far.
It's bubbling.
It's bubbling.
Yeah.
It's bubbling. But what do you foresee?
It's hard to tell this early on, but I would think probably gaming is not going to go away. Know that it's probably going to have to start in the Senate. We'll see what happens there. Luckily, BCA is neutral on this. I don't have to get involved in that or worry about that. We've got plenty of other things, but I definitely think that will be one. For us, that's very important. Last year we set up the Alabama Growth Alliance, and that is a kind of a public-private partnership made up of some of the top business leaders in the state and government leadership as well. And their task is to help make sure that Alabama is on track economically, make sure that our incentives, our recruitment efforts are on track. So we're ready for whatever comes out of that. We're going to be prepared. BCA is going to be prepared to work hard to get that across the finish line.
Last thing real quick here, I-65 broadening it. This has been a big thing that's been talked about. The legislature really hasn't jumped in there and said, okay, we're going to do this project. It's kind of trying to piecemeal different things around the state. How does BCA feel about that? Do you want all the way from top to bottom 25 lanes?
Absolutely. I think we're for any infrastructure improvement in the state of Alabama. We really are. I mean, people have to have good roads to get their goods to market. I-65 is certainly the lifeblood of the state of Alabama. So, yeah, we absolutely support that and any infrastructure improvements.
But as a former legislator, talk about the lift that would be. What kind of lift are we talking about to expand 65? Like Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth has mentioned, to great popularity in his 8-year run for governor.
Speak very quickly about that.
Sorry.
It would be very expensive. I don't know the numbers. I'm sure Lieutenant Governor
Road is very expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be very expensive. Obviously delays through construction. But it is a very well traveled.
I don't think it happens all in one bite. I think it's got to go all the way around, but it's a great idea. It needs to happen. Clay Schofield, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Executive Vice President of the BCA. We'll talk with him soon, no doubt about that. Mecca's leaving. The show gets better. I got a party shop for you next. Stay tuned.
Get Fox 54 Plus everywhere you stream. Watch local newscasts live or on your schedule, plus exclusive specials like Weekend Review, a recap of the week's top stories. Fox 54 Plus, live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Take 5 minutes of your time right now. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. U.S. Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I'm Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. Before I jump into the partner shot, let me quickly remind you, head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my 7 things you should be talking about today. I'll give you an email every single morning with those 7 things right into your email inbox. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that partner shot. My party shot this week is directed at the mayor of the city of Birmingham, Randall Woodfin, and I'm actually going to give him a compliment, calling his city a welcoming city instead of a sanctuary city, and refusing to sign the piece of resolution passed by the city council there years ago might actually save them now that you are seeing the DOJ going after sanctuary cities. Now, they're still operating as a sanctuary city, essentially, but they're not officially one, so they could avoid some of the penalties of doing that. So let me give them a compliment. It's not very honest, but it is a very smart thing to do. Chicago, of course, considers themselves a welcoming city as well. The alternative of this, of course, would be to help enforce immigration law as the nation has voted for and is moving towards. But I don't think Randall Woodfin's going to do that. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics this week all over the great state of Alabama. We'll definitely talk with you next week.
WVNN is the only radio station of relevance in North Alabama, with the most live and local talk you'll find anywhere. Start your day with a Dale Jackson Show every morning at 5 a.m., followed by the Yeffy program at 9. Dan Bongino is up at 11. Right Side Radio starts your afternoons at 2. And Mark Levin takes you home at 5 p.m. It's the best news talk anywhere. And it's only on News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM. WVNN.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.